Hey everybody, hi. Thanks for joining me for a little break this Thursday afternoon. Hope your day is going really well. I am super excited to be back with you and talk about a book that is a huge classic. It's one of those books that when you mention it, people are like, oh, that was awesome. That was like the best business book I ever read. So with no suspense, right? This is Built to Sell by John Warrillow. And some of you may have already read it, but if you haven't, I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste of what it's about today because it covers some of the topics I love the most, like productizing your services and making sure that you have a great process in your business. We're going to get into all of that in a minute. But first, as tradition would have it, I'm going to drink a shot because I like to tell you about business books and mindset books in the time it would take to take a shot. So I'm going to take a real shot right now. Let's see what we got. I don't get to know in advance, so I'll find out with you. Laura's laughing, so that's not a good sign. All right, here goes. Oh, she's being merciful today. It had chocolate in it. Thank you. All right, I am set. Thank you, Laura, and excited to talk about Built to Sell. So this is the book that will beat you into realizing that you cannot do everything yourself in your business, and that you need to have an amazing process or system that you're selling, not a cool service. And if you're in the services business, got to run out and get this book if you haven't read it already, because it all is around a character he invented named Alex, who's the entrepreneur, the guy with the feet up there. And he has a mentor named Ted, who basically teaches him the most important secrets that will help you scale. And these are things that I teach in masterclass, that every business coach worth their salt walks you through. And it's basically how to transform your business from what I would like to call a doer. That's what we call in masterclass. We say you come in a doer and you leave a leader. Because most business owners started their businesses because they're really good at doing something. So then they keep doing it. Maybe they hire a couple other people, but they don't want to have anybody who's, a lot better than they are, or they think they can't afford anyone better. And the next thing you know, they're doing everything. That is not what will make a business scale, as we know. What makes a business scale is when you're a leader and you're inspiring other people to do great things and you've perfected a system or process that you and your team can deliver over and over and over again. Let me tell you this story about a client I was on the phone with earlier, someone who was considering masterclass. She was asking me about her business, which is for speaking. She helps train people how to speak. And she's got some great clients coming in. They're actually doing really well with the business, but she wants to take it up a notch, make more money, have even more clients. And I was asking her, well, when you do these sessions with speakers, what's that session called? And she was like, well, we don't have a name for it. We just go in and train them. It can take 2 weeks. It can take 2 months. So by not having a system or a name for it, they're constantly reinventing what they're doing. I said, well, when people ask you to help train these speakers, do you customize that? Oh, she said, oh yeah, we actually always customize it. So you get the idea here that if you're always customizing what you deliver, then it's going to be hard to scale because you spend so much of your time creating new services or products for whoever walks in the door. That's what I like to call the reactive mode. So in the book, Ted, the mentor, and hey everybody, if you're just joining us, we're doing Built to Sell by John Warrillow, where Alex, the entrepreneur, gets advice from Ted, the mentor, about how to build a business that is for sale, or the best possible sale, shall we say, because Alex thinks he's going to be able to sell his business for all this money, but he finds out, no, not so, and you'll find out why when you read the book. So here's one of the tips from Ted. He says, don't generalize, specialize. If you focus on doing one thing well and hire specialists in that area, the quality of your work will improve and you will stand out among your competitors. Absolutely. It is much better to be known to be the best at one thing than to be pretty good or even excellent at 5 different things. It'll make it really hard for people to be your ambassadors. You want everyone you meet, and certainly all the people you worked with, to be able to easily tell friends, colleagues, people with the same needs they had that they should come work with you. And it makes it much easier for them if you specialize. So that's a great tip. A second tip from Ted was relying too heavily on one client is risky. Make sure that no client makes up more than 15% of your revenue. That is a classic rookie mistake in business, is to go get 1 or 2 big clients and say, hey, I'm all set. And the next thing you know, one of them goes away and then your business is tanking. So yes, having diverse clients, super, super important. But the part that I like the best in here is how Ted walks Alex through the process of productizing his services. In this case, Alex runs something called the Stapleton Agency, and they do logo design. So they were in this, what I call the reactive mode, where anybody who came in, you need a logo design, he would put people on it, he would customize whatever needed to happen. But after working with Ted, he developed this 5-step logo design system that was much easier to implement. They could charge more money for it, they got known for it, and it really transformed his business. So seeing them go through that process could be very helpful for you if you're not really sure how to productize your services. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Kathleen. Hi, Helen. And those of you who are in Masterclass, I know you're in the process of this right now. And we should just say right away, it's a little bit easier said than done, right? When you've been doing business in one way for 2 years, 4 years, some people much longer, it can be hard to see for your own business how you can make those changes. So this is where working with a business coach or a mentor, somebody who has that outside perspective on your business, can help you figure out how do you package up all these disparate things you do into just 1 to 3, maximum 3 productized services. It's still a service, but you're selling it as a product. And 3 great things happen when you do that. One is your cost for delivering that service goes down because you get better and better at delivering it. So you get higher margins. That's awesome. 2, you start to be known for that. And that brings great new business in the door. And 3, you are way more scalable as a business once you have a product that you can deliver over and over again. And of course, you'll be more attractive to buyers. One of the main points that Ted makes in the book is that a buyer never wants to buy a company where it's all about the founder. If the founder and the boss is doing most of the work, then that is the value of the company. And then you can never sell because either you'd have to stay and work for that person forever, or they would just lose all the value of the business the second you walked out the door. And if you're not building your business to sell, let's say you're sitting there thinking, okay, Julia, that's all good, but I don't want to sell my business. I love my business. I'm going to do this forever. Well, first of all, forever is a very long time. I know that when I started Little Pim, I thought I wanted to teach parents how to learn a second language forever. Turns out after 9 years, I was tired of having that conversation at every cocktail party and knowing what foreign language every single person I met learned in school and how their Spanish teacher wasn't good enough and what language their kid was learning. It was cool for a few years, but then I just thought, you know what? I am ready for a new conversation. That's when I founded Million Dollar Women. So you never know when you might want to sell your business for your own reasons. And isn't it better to build a business that someone would want to buy? The other reason this is pertinent to everybody, whether or not you want to sell your business, is that you are spending your precious time, energy, and resources building this business. You could probably be making twice as much going and working for someone else. So shouldn't you be paying attention to the value in this business? Don't you want to increase that value every day to make more money, to maybe pass off to your children one day if you plan to pass the business off, or just to feel it was justified to hang out that shingle and leave, a cushy job if that's what you had, or not go get a cushy job. Lord knows there are fewer benefits being an entrepreneur than there are in corporate America, right? You don't have all those, 401ks, you don't have the paid vacations. So at the very least, you should know that your business is bringing in top dollar, that you are streamlining your systems, and that it's the kind of business that someone would want to sell. In fact, I would ask yourself, would I buy my own business, right? If you took a look at your business, would you think, hey, there's so much value there. You guys have figured out an incredible process or system. Or would you think that is one overworked person carrying a whole lot of weight with a few junior people to help them? And if it's the second, please read this book so that you can figure out how to change that. Ted didn't think there was Alex, that was the entrepreneur. He didn't think there was any other way, but turns out there was. Hey, Carol. Do you guys have any questions about the book Built to Sell? This is just an amazing classic, and if you're just joining us, it's one of the top recommendations for anybody who wants to scale up their business. And I'm a scaling coach, all about scaling. So if you want to get some of the top tips for how to streamline and scale up your business, this would be a great read. Good summer read too, because it's not that hard to read. A lot of conversation back and forth between the entrepreneur and his mentor, a lot of real life examples of exactly what happens when you start telling your customers, hey, we don't customize anymore. And now you have to buy one of our productized services. You know, that can be a tricky transition. I've seen that happen with my coaching clients where they do transition their whole business to services that are products. And then the old clients come back and say, well, wait a minute, you're not going to customize to me anymore? I don't want that package. I want the thing where you hold my hand and call me every day and give me my own custom package. So the book actually has concrete tips for how to have those conversations and transition people over. Okay, we are coming up on time here, but I want to make sure that I cover any questions people have. So far, you guys are just listening in. Good to see you here. I'm going to read one more part because there's so much great stuff in this book. Here we go. Here's another tip that I love. You need at least 2 years of financial statements reflecting your use of the standardized offering model before you sell your company. No, that's not the one I love. That's a lot of jargon. Let's see. We got to get a better one. Here we go. That one's good if you are trying to sell your company. That was super important, but I have a feeling for most of you that's not relevant yet. Ted's tip number 6. Don't be afraid to say no to projects. Prove that you're serious about specialization by turning down work that falls outside your area of expertise. The more people you say no to, the more referrals you'll get to people who need your product or service. It's very counterintuitive, right? You don't really want to say no to business ever when you're a business owner. But funny enough, that's the thing you have to learn to do when you set out to productize your services. Because as long as you're saying yes to every single person who walks in the door, whether or not they fit into what your new package is, your team is going to get distracted. You're going to get distracted. You're not going to figure out how to optimize delivering that one package that you want to be like the best in the world at delivering. But it's very hard to say no when the business walks in the door. So that's why a book like this is helpful, because reading how Ted, the entrepreneur, or Alex, the entrepreneur featured in the book, how he did that and how he moved the customers to a place where they accepted to buy the package might be helpful if you're going through that transition right now. All right, guys. Well, great to see you today and fun to be on this little break with you. I hope you have an awesome day and check out this book, Built to Sell, so that you can keep scaling up your business. And next week, we'll do a mindset book, business book, mindset book, and we'll have a great time then too. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.